You can stop that search for the fountain of youth. Several studies have now found that the key to a longer and healthier life may be an optimistic outlook. And a recent study discovered it helped people cope during the COVID pandemic. In her new book, Practical Optimism, board-certified psychiatrist Dr. Sue Varma writes about the benefits, and she joins us now. Thank you so much for being here. Dr. Varma, all of us, I would consider, we think of ourselves as being optimistic, but
I was gonna say, have you met Tony? Have you met Tony?
Throw you out there. Okay.
I'm more of a warrior. Yeah.
But let's define it.
Yes. So optimism simply is that the belief that good things can happen, this positive outlook, expectations, and it's looking at the glass as being half full as opposed to half empty. And what's interesting to me is that only 25% of us are born with this gene, and there is a genetic component to it. But guess what? The rest of us, the other 75, I put myself in that category, can practice it.
You have to work at it.
You have to work at it.
So what are the benefits?
Oh, there are head-to-toe benefits. First of all, optimists are known to live longer, about 15% longer. And not only do they enjoy exceptional longevity, which is living longer in your 80s, but also healthy. So health span is increased, not just lifespan. Because most women, Michelle, believe it or not, spend the last decade of their life in poor health.
Yes.
So living longer, living healthier, you have 30% less heart attacks and strokes, less anxiety and depression. And optimists also make more money and save more money. And they're 40% more likely to get a raise in the next year, believe it or not.
Okay.
So I would say I have a lot of gratitude, which feels related to optimism, but different.
Yes.
Are they kind of cousins?
Absolutely. So gratitude is your ability to be appreciative of what you already have, and that is a big component of optimism. Optimists say to themselves, like, they're able to project good things into the future because they can see the good things that exist right now. And as a result, they're kinder, they're more compassionate to themselves, they're more forgiving, and they're more grateful for the things that they already have. That is how they look at the glass as half full, because they're like, I have so much to be thankful for.
That's you, Tony.
One of the, Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor, who wrote a book that changed my life, Man's Search for Meaning, he talked about the power of optimism, the power of hope. Explain to our viewers why it's so powerful.
So optimism is basically saying, I believe that good things will happen, but I are capable of and are possible. But practical optimism to me goes one step further, and it says I'm going to translate those positive outlooks into positive outcomes through action. So I love that you mentioned that book. It had a profound impact on my life, and I see hope as it's not only a noun, but it's a verb, right? And optimism is not just a mindset. It is a skill set, it is a tool set, and it is a practice set. Some days it's a 5-minute practice, like learning how to ride a bike or yoga or learning a new language, and some days it's longer. And there are 8 pillars of practical optimism that says I start with having clarity and purpose and intention, and it translates into how do I make those things happen in the real world. It's the execution of that goal.
Now, are there drawbacks? I mean, you talk about toxic optimism.
Yes, yes. So there is something called blind optimism, or the ostrich effect, where you're burying your head in the sand, and it's sort of like someone going to their doctor's office and the doctor's like, there are a couple things I want to check out. The extreme optimist says, doctor, you worry, everything will be fine. They don't follow up on the exam, or they may not even go to their annual visit because they think that everything will be fine. So on both extremes optimists avoid reality because they think things will be fine, and then extreme pessimists also say to themselves, things are too hard for me, I'm not going to take my head out of the sand. So you want to marry the both. And I say that optimists build the planes, but pessimists build the parachutes, and we need both.
You need both. So with that in mind, what would you say to a patient who said, doctor, I can't be an optimist, I'm a realist?
Yes, yes. And I would say, you know what? I love that. You're a practical optimist, because cynicism and pessimism do have their benefits, right? They're very protective. And realists, what I call practical optimists, are more in tune with reality. They're more in touch. They're more realistic, and they're more accurate in their assessments about things. The problem is they don't act, right? Oftentimes pessimists, they say, I've done my research. And I'm like, and now what? They're like, I don't know, I'm too scared to leave the house. I'm like, don't do that much research. Do enough to say, I need to get off my butt and make things happen.
Such good advice. Dr. Sue Varma, always great to have you here. Your book is amazing, and I'm glad that we share that love for Viktor Frankl's book. It really did have a profound impact on my life, too. Thanks for being here.